Om Sam Saraswati Namaha. Namaste. Namaste. On page 226, we're going to discuss the consecration of Tantric offerings. Now, these are offerings that have many levels of meaning, and first of all, we'll go through the process, and then we'll discuss the philosophy and reasoning behind it. So the first article that we're going to offer is called Bijoya, and it's a composition of, it's made of bhang, and there are many ways, many recipes for creating this preparation. Let's recite the mantra. Om Ring Amriti Amrito Babe Amrito Babarshini Amritada Karshaya Siddhinde Italikame Bashamanaka Om Ring Sring Sring Parmeshwari Kalike Swaha Vijayam Samartayami. And then we're going to show the Denu Mudra. And then we're going to show the Yoni Mudra. And then we're going to do Alahon, Stapon, Sanidapon, Sanrohoni, Samukikan Mudra. And then with the Sanketa Mudra, we're going to offer 3 times into the fire. Om Ring Sring Kring Parameshwari Kalike Swaha. Om Ring Sring Kring Parameshwari Kalike Swaha. Om Ring Sring Kring Parameshwari Kalike Swaha. And then we're going to offer with our sruva. Om Ring Vada Vada Bhagavadini Mamaji Vagre Stiri Baba Sarva Sarva Vashamkari Swaha. Now, Om Guru Vyo Nama, Om Param Guru Vyo Nama, Om Pararo Guru Vyo Nama, Om Parameshi Guru Vyo Nama, Om Gam Ganesha Namo, Om Ananta Namo, Om Ring Sring Ring Parameshwari Kalike Swaha. Now we're going to offer some alcohol. Om Tara Baby Make Maha Vedi Make Tanno Tara Prachodayat. Om Ekame Bak Param Brahma Stula Suksma Vaikam Dhrimam Kachod Babam Brahmatyam Tena Tena Sakyam Yakam Swaha. Surya Mandala Majesty Varuna Loyastamabe Amabija Magediri Shukra Sapati Mokshatam Swaha. Vedanam Pradako Vicham Kamanam Mayam Yadi Tina Satina Tedri Brahmadya Pohatu Swaha. Om Ring Hamsa Suti Shad Vasuran Tariksha Sad Dyota Sad Vedasya Dyaditi Raduro Dastad Nishad Parasad Ritachad Yomasad Abjako Jabritaja Adritaja Ritam Swaha. And then 7 times. Om Bam Bing Boom Boing Boom Ba Brahmashapani Mochai Amochatai Sudadevaki Namaha Swaha. Om Bam Bing Boom Boing Boom Ba Brahmashapani Mochatai Sudadevaki Namaha Swaha. Om Bam Bing Boom Boing Boom Ba Brahmashapani Mochatai Sudadevaki Namaha Swaha. Om Bam Bing Boom Boing Boom Ba Brahmashapa Vimochitaya Visuddha Devi Namaha Swaha. Om Ram Bing Bum Boing Bum Ba Brahmashapa Vimochitaya Ishuddha Devaki Namaha Swaha. Om Ram Bing Bum Boing Bum Ba Brahmashapa Vimochitaya Ishuddha Devaki Namaha Swaha. Om Ram Bing Bum Boing Bum Ba Brahmashapa Vimochitaya Ishuddha Devaki Namaha Swaha. Om Kram Krim Krum 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 Kra Sring Ring Sudha Krishna Shapa Mochayamritam Shravaka Shravaka Swaha. Om Kram Krim Krum 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 Kra Sring Ring Sudha Krishna Shapa Mochayamritam Shravaka Shravaka Swaha. Om Kram Krim Krum 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 Kra Sring Ring Sudha Krishna Shapa Mochayamritam Shravaka Shravaka Swaha. Om Kram Krim Krum 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 Kra Sring Ring Shuddha Krishna Shapa Mochaya Mritam Shravaka Shravaka Swaha. Om Kram Krim Krum 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 Kra Sring Ring Shuddha Krishna Shapa Mochaya Mritam Shravaka Shravaka Swaha. Om Kram Krim Krum 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 Kra Sring Ring Shuddha Krishna Shapa Mochaya Mritam Shravaka Shravaka Swaha. Om Kram Krim Krum 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 Kra Sring Ring Shuddha Krishna Shapa Mochaya Mritam Shravaka Shravaka Swaha. Om Asakala Malabarayum Ananda Bhairavaya Namaha Swaha. Om Asakala Bhairavayum Ananda Bhairavaya Namaha Swaha. Om Asakala Malabarayum 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 Ananda Bhairavaya Namaha Swaha. Om Sahakshama Labarayim Sudha Devi Boshad. Om Sahasrama Labarayim Sudha Devi Boshad. Om Sahakshama Balarayim Sudha Devi Boshad. Om Sahakshama Balarayim Sudha Devi Boshad. Om Sahakshama Balarayim Shuddha Devi Boshad. Om Sahakshama Balarayim Shuddha Devi Boshad. Om Sahakshama Balarayim Shuddha Devi Boshad. Om Ring String Ring Parameshwari Kalike Swaha. Om Ring String Ring Parameshwari Kalike Swaha. Om Ring String Ring Parameshwari Kalike Swaha. Om Triambakam Yajamake Sugandhim Pushtipardanam Urvarukka Vivavandadam Rityumachiya Pamitad. Triambakam Yajamake Sugandhim Pushtipardanam Urvarukka Vivavandadam Rityumachiya Pamitad. Om Triambakam Yajamake Sugandhim Pushtipardanam Urvarukka Vivavandadam Rityumachiya Pamitad. Amakandika Ratsananda Akari Srapura Sudatmani Swachat Spura Namatra Nidehim Kudarupini Swaha. Anangata Mamrikare Shudagana Karivare Amritatwani Deyasmin Vastuni Clean Rupini Swaha. Karupine Karasyancha Vidargam Nidiratat Rupini Utvakulabam Vidyaram Mayis by Suratam Karusva. Brahmananda Samam Bhutam Asheshama Samam Babam Aburitam Mahapadam Yushama Samakaha Swaha. Mahanta Patra Viratam Idanta Paramamitam Parakatam Yebado Homa Swikara Lakshanam Swaha. Trayambakam yajamake, Sugandhi pushti partnam, Urparuka bibabandana, Ritomakshi bhagatana, Trayambakam yajamake, Sugandhi pushti partnam, Urparuka bibabandana, Ritomakshi mamritana, Trayambakam yajamake, Sugandhi pushti partnam, Urparuka bibabandana, Ritomakshi mamritana. We'll draw our square. Hasakal Malabarayung, Ananda Bhairabhaya Bhushat, Ananda Bhairabham, Tarpayami Namaha Swam. Sahakshamalabaraying, Ananda Bhairabhyaki Bhushat, Ananda Bhairabhing, Tarpayami Namaha Swaha. Om Eng Sri Gurum Tarpayami Namaha Swaha. Om Eng Sri Paramagurum Tarpayami Namaha Swaha. Om Eng Sri Paraparagurum Tarpayami Namaha Swaha. Om Eng Sri Parameshti Gurum Tarpayami Namaha Swaha. Om Ring Sring Ring Parameshwari Swaha. Adyam Kaling Tarpayami Namaha Swaha. Om Ring Sring Ring Parameshwari Swaha. Adyam Kaling Tarpayami Namaha Swaha. Om Ring Sring Ring Parameshwari Swaha. Adyam Kaling Tarpayami Namaha Swaha. Om Angat Devastha Tarpayami Namaha Swaha. Om Aharan Devatas Tarpayami Namaha Swaha. Om Ring Sring Ring Parameshwari Kalike Swaha. Sayutam Sapadivakam Adya Kaling Tarpayami Namaha Swaha. Om Bhutadevyo Tarpayami Namaha Swaha. Om Ring Ring Sring Bom Batukaya Tarpayami Namaha Swaha. Om Yam Yoginivyo Tarpayami Namaha Swaha. Om Sham Ching Chung 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 Sha Shekhar Palaya Tarpayami Namaha Swaha. Om Gandhi Gungoin Gonga Ganapata He Tarpayami Namaha Swaha. Om Ring Sring Sarvavigna Tribhyaha Sarvabhutebhyo Humfat Tarpayami Namaha Swaha. Om Kendriyana Devi Mahabhage Shire Kuladi Rupini Shubhashubham Palam Yakam Ruhi Brihana Balim Tava. Om Ring Krom Swaha. Om Ang Pring Krom Swam. Om Ring Sring Ring Parameshwari Swaha. Esha Boli Om Shivaya Namaha. Om Paramambarni Kapam Kopika Pantakarini Priyana Sudhi Sakitam Dekime Mokshamabhyagam. Oh harmony dhimati tano jiva prachodayat. Etikanda pushpe om Bhagishwari Pramabhyam Namaha. Etikanda pushpe om Lakshmi Narayanabhyam Namaha. Etikanda pushpe om Umamakeshwarabhyam Namaha. Om Etikanda pushpe om Brahma Vishnu Shiva Sakti Yutaya Khargaya Namaha. Om Tat Vishnu Om Tat Sat Om Adya Jambudvipe America Deshi California Padeshi Napa Nagari Devi Mandare Shravan Mase Krishna Pakshi Dashamantito Bhaveshwar Gotra Satyananda Gotra Swami Satyananda Saraswati Jasri Macha and the rest of the family Kripta Pitatan Sri Kali Kamaha Puja Kamamaha Pashuni Mang Sampradade. Om Cream. Can you like this? Get matches. Working all through. Om Agni Jyoti Ravi Jyotis Chandra Jyotis Tateva Cha Jyotis Samutamo Devi Deepo Ayam Pratigriyatam. Om Sapradipa Shirsha Bali Simadhyadi Kali Kaya Pidevati Namaha. Now the Bali, we placed all of our animalism into this gourd, and now it's illuminated and it's ascending. It's radiating its light, and so it has a light on the top of its head. Aim, Klim, Sham, Triparayati Namaha Imam Shaktim Pavitrai Kuru Mama Shaktim Guru Swaha. Would you please take this to sit down? Let's go back to the beginning of this section and discuss the meaning and the method of what we've performed. The offering of Bijoyam, Om Hrim, the nectar which comes forth from nectar, you who pour forth nectar, again and again bring nectar to me, give me control of Kalika, the goddess who takes away the darkness, give me Siddhi, the attainment of perfection. I am one with God. And this is the mantra for the consecration of the Bijoya, a preparation of leaves of cannabis, and then inwardly reciting the Mula mantra 7 times over the Bijoya. That's Om Ring Sring Pring Parameshwari Kalike Swaha. We show the Denu Mudra, the Yoni Mudra, and both forms of the Yoni Mudra. We show the Avahoni and Staponi, Sanidaponi, Sanirodadini, and Samukhi Karana Mudra. And then with the Sanketa Mudra, we offer 3 times the Vijaya to our deity into the fire with the mantra Om Ring Sring Kring Parameshwari Kalike Swaha, and then we recite the following mantra: Om Aim Goddess Saraswati, you who rules over all vibrations, inspire me and remain forever on the tip of my tongue. I am one with God. And that's the prayer with which we offer the Vijaya. Now, then the purpose of this offering is for yoga. It is not for bhog. We're not seeking an intoxication to forgetfulness. We're not seeking to escape from our thoughts. We're seeking a remembrance, and we're asking for the vibrations to come flowing through us so that we become actually the embodiment of all those vibrations. This is the container of vibrations. So you won't want to smoke, you won't want to shoot, you won't want to sniff, because those will be injurious to our capacity. They will diminish our capacity. But if you ingest, and this is a small preparation in butter oil of the Vijaya, and it's if you sip the Vijaya, sip the butter oil, then under the direction of your guru on certain occasions, this is the Padoti. And after drinking the Vijaya, he should bow to the Guru by placing his folded palms over his left ear, and then to Ganesh by placing his folded palms over the right ear. Om Guru Bhyo Namo, Param Guru Bhyo Namo, Parapara Guru Bhyo Namo, Parameshti Guru Bhyo Namo, Gam Ganeshaya Namo, Manantaya Namo, Om Ring Sring Kring. And then lastly to the eternal Adya Devi by placing his folded palms in the middle of his forehead, and then he should meditate on the Devi. So this whole process is bringing us to a state of meditation. Now we're going to offer the wine or the alcohol. Om, there is only one supreme consciousness without a second, which is both gross and subtle. O divinity, destroy the sin of slaying a Brahmin which became attached to wine by the death of Kach. Now, the story of Kach was the son of Brihaspati, and he was a disciple of Shukracharya, the priest of the Asuras. The Kach was burnt by the Asuras, and his ashes were mixed in the wine which Shukra drank. And when Shukra discovered what he had done under the influence of intoxication, he cursed the wine. Said, anybody who drinks this wine is going to go crazy. They're going to get crazy. So now we're going to recite these mantras to remove the curse of Shukra. And now, O you who reside in the regions of the sun where the light of wisdom always shines, and your birth was in the dwelling place of the Lord of Ocean, in the churning of which this nectar was produced, who are one with the Bij mantra of the Divine Mother, be free from the curse of Shukra. So here we're requesting this wine to be free from the curse of Shukra. Vedanam Pranam Bijam, O goddess, the Om of the Vedas, the Pranam, is the seed of the bliss of supreme divinity. May the sin of slaying a Brahmin be destroyed by the recitation of this principle. Okay, so now we're saying that drinking wine without consecration is the same as Brahmahatya. It's a Mahapapa. It's a great sin. So now we're asking that we're requesting that the sin of the great sin be removed from the drinking of wine, because we are consecrating it with this Om. And now comes the great mantra from Rigveda. Om Ring Hamsa Suchishad, the supreme Hamsa, the swan who flies on the wings of consciousness and nature. dwells in the brilliant heaven. As Washu, the Lord of wealth, it moves throughout the space between heaven and earth. It dwells on earth in the form of the Vedic fire and in the sacrificer and is honored in the guest. It is in the household fire and in the consciousness of man and dwells in the honored region. It resides in truth and in ether. It is born in waters, in rays of life, in rays of light, in truth, in the eastern hills where the sun rises. Such is the great illuminator of light, the truth which cannot be bound or concealed, the great consciousness who dwells everywhere, supreme divinity. Now, what is your remembrance when we take the wine, when we take the bijoya? The remembrance is the supreme divinity, the great Hamsa. These are vehicles to take us into that recollection. These mantras, this entire padhoti, this entire system of worship, repeat 7 times for every level of consciousness. I bow to the goddess of nectar who is relieved of the curse of Brahma. Shuddha Devyaki Namaha. She has been relieved from that curse. And now I bow to her. I bow 7 times, remove the curse of Krishna in the wine, pour nectar again and again. I am one with God. Give me that remembrance of the nectar of the bliss of immortality. Now I bow to Ananda Bhairav, the bliss of fearlessness. I know no fear. I bow to Shuddha Devi, the goddess of wine, purified. O Maya, increase dissolution to the highest female divinity. Kali, I am one with God. And now, please lay that. We're going to wave our lights and our incense and recite the Mahan Mrityunjay mantra 3 times. Thank you. We adore the Father of the 3 worlds of excellent fame, grantor of increase. As a cucumber is released from its bondage to the stem, so may I be freed from death to dwell in immortality. O intrinsic form of the universal family, infuse the thrill of joy into the essence of this excellent wine so that it produces full and unbroken bliss. You are the nectar which is infinite and the embodiment of pure knowledge. Fill this liquid with the nectar of the bliss of infinite consciousness. You alone are that form of that, the infinite unifying principle. Make this respectful offering of the intrinsic nature of that, and having become this divine nectar, blossom in me. Fill this sacred vessel of wine with the nectar of immortal wisdom, produced from the essence of all that is in the world and containing all kinds of taste. Lord, may this cup of self, which is filled with the nectar of the self, be sacrificed in the fire of the Supreme Self. Again, wave the incense and wave the lights over the wine patra. We adore the Father of the 3 worlds of excellent fame, grantor of increase. As a cucumber is released from its bondage to the stem, so may I be freed from death to dwell in immortality. We draw the square, place our patra, our wine glass, right in the center of the square. I offer to Ananda Bhairav the bliss of fearlessness, purity. I bow, I am one with God, male. I offer to Ananda Bhairav the bliss of fearlessness, purity. I bow, I am one with God, female. Oh, I bow to my Guru with the offering of respect. I am one with God. Oh, my bow to my guru's guru with the offering of respect. I am one with God. Oh, I bow to the gurus of the lineage with the offering of respect. I am one with God. Oh, I bow to the supreme gurus with the offering of respect. I am one with God. Now 3 times, Om Maya, increase dissolution to the highest female divinity. I offer and bow to the foremost Kali. I am one with God. Again, I offer and bow to the gods of the body. I am one with God. Om Maya, increase dissolution to the highest female divinity. I am one with God. I offer and I bow to the foremost Kali, accompanied by devoted attendants. I am one with God. Om, I bow to the young people. I am one with God. Om, creation Maya, increase. I bow to the young people. I am one with God. Om, I bow to the energies of the goddess which assist in union. I am one with God. Oh, I bow to the protectors of the field of existence. I am one with God. Oh, I bow to the Lord of wisdom. I am one with God. Oh, Maya, increase. I bow to the beings who cause the removal of all difficulties or obstructions. I am one with God. Oh, goddess, one of great hearts, Shiva. O energy of infinite goodness, the intrinsic form of the final conflagration of total dissolution, please accept this sacrificial offering and reveal to me the good and evil fruit of action. And this comes from the Mahanirvana Tantra. We use Arthur Avalon's translation, John Woodruff. The Kula worshipper should sanctify the wine by repeating over it the Pashadi Trika Bija 108 times, and that is Om Krim Krom Swaha. Creation, Maya, dissolution, I am one with God. Take the cup to your heart and meditate upon the presence of the deity. Then put it back upon the square and ring the bell. Now, if one is accustomed to eating meat, rather than going to the grocery store and buying some shrink-wrapped piece of meat with which or with whom you have no relationship, there is a provision to bring your sacrificial offering to the temple, consecrate the offering in the temple, and then you share that offering with everybody in the temple and make it a gift to God. It's not that we're saying, don't eat meat, don't drink wine, don't take an intoxicant, but if you do, remember God when you're doing it. That's what Tantra is about. Remembering God all the time in everything you do. Remember, mantrayate is the intuitive experience. Yantra is the tool, the intellectual understanding. And Tantra is the practical application. What do I do physically? How do I prosecute my life in this world and remember God at the same time? So the objective is not to create prohibitions. The objective is to make prescriptions so that if you choose to enter into such behavior, such a diet, rather than being prohibited, this is the way to do it. And I guarantee you, anybody who goes through such a process, by the time they get to the sip of wine, they will be in a totally different place. It's different than happy hour at the corner store. If one has the desire to eat meat, it should be offered with the highest respect and appreciation and shared with the community as a rite of worship. The offering conveys all impurities and sense of separation, which are actually the offerings to be sacrificed in worship. The entire ceremony, from the slaying of the animal to the preparation, offering, and partaking, should be designed to encourage the surrender of the animalistic nature of each of the participants. It is very common to substitute a squash or a pumpkin for an animal, and much more respectful than the purchase of packaged meats from a grocery store. So here we have taken all of our animalism and we have put it on this piece of Loki. And we can see this is the embodiment of all of my animalistic tendencies. All the karma that emanates from my lower chakras, all the problems that get me into greater trouble, I put right here. And then I make that as an offering to the goddess. O Maya, increase dissolution to the highest female divinity, I am one with God. I offer and bow to the energy of infinite goodness with this offering. You are the cause of the end of 10 million ages of time. Please accept this excellent offering and grant to me eternal liberation. Please. With the greatest sincerity of which we are capable, we are praying to you sincerely. Please grant us liberation. Make us free from all of these animalistic tendencies. Now we purify the offering, we sprinkle water over it, we show the Denu Mudra, the Amritikaran Mudra. We're dripping the nectar of immortal bliss right here on all of this animalistic nature of ours. And now we're worshiping it and bow to you. Namaha. And now, here is the Pashu Gayatri. Om Pashu Pashaya Vidmahe Vishwakarmane Dhimahi Tano Jihva Prachodayat. Om, we meditate upon the bondage of the life of a beast. Contemplate the doer of all actions. May that life force grant us increase. Now we worship our sword, or our battle axe of good actions. We worship, I bow to the female lord of all vibrations with her husband, the creative capacity at the end. And so here is Bhagishwari, the supreme goddess, Saraswati, the supreme goddess of all vibrations with Brahma. I bow to Lakshmi and Narayan in the middle. I bow to Uma and Maheshwara at the handle. And I bow to Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva with their Shaktis united in this sword. This is the weapon with which I shall cut down all of my animalistic tendencies. I take the sun kalpa, holding the animal in the air, all of my animalistic tendencies. Today is this day, and here we are in this place, and this is me, the Swami, and I presume to take the sankalpa, Pashum Imam Sankadate. I wish to give you all of these animalistic tendencies. Now, I meditate upon the presence of that deity, raise the sword over the presiding animalism, and when the time is right, the sword will fall of its own accord and sever my animalistic nature into two. And then I am free from animalism. Placing a candle on the forehead or on the head of the beast, I offer her, I bow to the goddess with this offering of a head with a light upon it. So that beast is his head is now illuminating light because all of his beastly characteristics have been severed. Now, while repeating the Mool Mantra, Om Ring Sring Ring Parameshwari Kalike Swaha, sprinkle the water of the special offering, that's the Vishesh Ordhya, the one in the conch shell, 3 times over the deity, that's our Pashu. Our animalistic tendency has become the deity. Om Ring Sring Ring Parameshwari Kalike Swaha. Om Ring Sring Ring Parameshwari Kalike Swaha. Om Ring Sring Ring Parameshwari Kalike Swaha. And then make nyasa of the Devi to the 6 parts of her body. Om Kram Angustabya, Om Kram Hridakaya Namo, Om Kring Sirase Swaha, Om Kring Sikaya Divasat, Om Kring Kapachaya, Om Kram Netratrakamasat, Om Kra Karotaka Vishta Vyandastraya, Om Ring Sring Ring Parameshwari Kalike Swaha. And this ceremony is called the Sakali Karana or Sakali Kriti. And then worship again with all the 16 offerings that we offered in our offering section. And these are water for washing the feet, the water for the offering, water for rinsing the mouth and for her bath, garments, jewels, perfume, flowers, incense stick, lights, food, water for washing the mouth, betel, nectar or alcoholic beverage, pan or a betel nut, and obeisance, my pronoun. And in these 16 offerings are needed. In this worship, these 16 offerings are needed, and that's according to the Mahanirvana Tantra. And this Padhoti is excerpt from the Mahanirvana Tantra. The Sri Patra should be placed in the company of one's own virtuous Shakti. The Sri Patra is the prasad, this offering of wine. And the women are allowed to partake as well. She should be sprinkled in the form of a bath with the purified wine or water from the common offering. So if you like, you can sprinkle your Shakti with the wine, or you can sprinkle her with abhishek, with water from the Samanyarva. And she should be sprinkled in the form of a bath. The mantra for the sprinkling of the Shakti is Aim, Kling, So, Tripurayati Namaha, Imam Shakti Bhavitri, Kuru, Mama Shakti, Kuru Svaha. On creation, preservation, all existence, I bow to Tripura, to she who resides in the 3 cities. We talked about that before. Purify this Shakti, make her my Shakti, I am one with God. So here the Shakti is becoming my Shakti. That means that I become Shiva. She is purified Shakti, I must become Shiva in order to recognize her. Here's another quotation from Mahanirvana Tantra. If she who is to be Shakti is not already initiated, then the Maya Bija should be whispered into her ear. Hurring. And other Shaktis who are present should be worshipped and not enjoyed. Let the assembled worshippers then joyously take up each his own cup filled with excellent nectar. Then let him take up each his own cup and meditate upon the Kula Kundalini. It's not about getting drunk. It's about getting intoxicated with Kula Kundalini, who is consciousness and who is spread from the Muladhara lotus to the tip of the tongue, and uttering the Mula Mantra, Om Ring Sring Ring Parameshwari Kalike Swaha. Let each, after taking the other's permission, offer it as an oblation to the mouth of the Kundalini. When the Shakti is of the household, then the smelling of the wine is the equivalent of drinking. If you're not a drinker, just take a sniff. And not a sip. Worshippers who are householders may drink a maximum of 5 cups only. Excessive drinking prevents the attainment of success by Kula worshippers. They may drink until the sight or the mind is not affected. To drink beyond that is beastly. How is it possible for a sinner who becomes a fool through drink and who shows contempt for the sadhak of Shakti to say, I worship Adya Kalika, the supreme female divinity? That's from Mahanirvana Tantra, and it was Sir John Woodruff's translation. Let's pause and see if there are any questions.
Swamiji, I have a question about Tantra.
Yes.
There's a philosophy of Tantra, which is the 36 principles, and also the Tantra system of worship. Are the two related, Swamiji?
Absolutely. They are very closely related. There is the principle of Tantra, the practice of Tantra, the philosophy of Tantra. These are all different things, but they are all related. They're related because they are the application of spiritual knowledge to my life. If you sit in an asana, you're tantric. If you offer to anyone any article, you're tantric. Because the mantra is in the Karan Sarir. The yantra is in the Shukshma Sharir. The tantra is in the Shtul Sharir. Anything that you do in the gross body is tantric. Especially those things which have a goal or motivation of bringing us closer to God. So the realization of the 36 principles is achieved through worship. And this is a form of making divine everything we do in life. In the next chapter, we're going to talk about engendering spiritual children. We don't want to do that without God. We're inviting her into every part of our lives. Now, that's not to say that those people who teach Tantra as glorified sexuality or sensuality, that's only the small part that they've extrapolated from the body of Tantra. All the worship we perform is Tantra. I give you this flower. I'm in the gross body. This is a physical manifestation of my love, my respect. I am offering to you. There's three of us. There's an offeror, there's an offeree, and there's the object of offering. So yes, Tantra sadhana and Tantra principles are very closely united. Yes, please.
Swamiji, are these offerings traditionally done at the fire or at the altar?
Either. We are fire sadhus. We sit at the home kunda all the time. So most of our offerings are done at the fire. If you want to do without fire, it is possible to do just draw the square, either with sandal paste or just plain water, or even a drop of wine. And go ahead and place your patra there and make the offerings on the yantra. You could make the offerings on the kailash, on the pot. You could make the offerings on a flower.
Question from Devi from Atlanta.
Namaste, Devi Ma.
Namaste, Swamiji. Is this section done with all Kali Pujas or just added on special occasions?
Oh, as many as there are worshippers, so many are the ways of constructing the system of worship. This is a classical, as you see, it comes from the Mahanirvana Tantra. It's not something I made up myself, but it is often, and many practitioners do add this section into the Kali Puja, especially on special occasions. I don't do this in our daily worship. I would never make it to the end of the day.
Question from Wendy from New Jersey.
Namaste, Wendy Ma.
Namaste, Swamiji. Since Cannabis is illegal in most cases. Can you please tell us what is used as a substitute?
Yeah, you can make your paste with any other leaves or herbs that you choose. You could use spinach leaves. You can use mustard leaves. You can use any other symbolic offering of I am offering you the juice, the nectar of immortal bliss. This is my offering of somras. So you take any kind of we call them sag. What would you call that in huh? Green, any kind of greens. And you can make them, grind them to a paste or extract the juice and you can make that as your offering.
Swamiji, a question from many of our viewers.
Yes.
Is, did you offer alcohol or ghee at the fire?
Both. The Vijoya is made of ghee and the greens. And the alcohol is made out of nice wood alcohol.
Swamiji, Shankari Kali from Washington
Yes, Shankari Kali, namaste.
is wondering for the Bali. I wonder if we could use squash.
Yes, absolutely. But make it a little rounder squash. We used, tonight we used the Loki. We also use chalkumbra. We use various kinds of gourds and pumpkins with a soft skin.
Question from Marsha from Los Angeles.
Namaste, Marsha.
Could Swamiji give the right-handed path substitutions for the 5 ends?
Yes. The meat is all your senses. The fish is your pranayama. So when you withdraw your senses from the objects of perception, then you are ingesting the meat. The fish is the pranayama. The mudra. The mudra, the parched grains, you can take the parched grains, it's the offering to the fire. Or it's all your sense of smell as well. Mudra, Madeira, the wine is the nectar of devotion. And Moitum, the union between the Shakti in the Muladhara and the Shiva in the Sahasrara is your sexual union. These are the right-handed path, the 5 makar. And in Sanskrit they are much, months, mudra, Madeira, and Moitum. They all start with the letter Mon.
Question from Kumari from Valley Hill.
Namaste, Kumari Ma.
Can you comment more about the Triambaka mantra and the appropriate occasions to chant this mantra? Thank you.
There is no inappropriate occasion to chant the Triambakam mantra. However, there are special circumstances where it is extremely appropriate, especially where it's written into the padoti, into the system of worship by the authors, and we're taking it, quoting reliable scripture. Now, this Triambakam mantra is especially efficacious when you're at the time of departure, when you're witnessing or assisting loved ones who are making their transition out of this physical universe. It's appropriate in funeral ceremonies. It's especially appropriate at initiation ceremonies. Because when you take initiation, you're actually conducting a funeral to your old self. There's a rebirth. It's always appropriate, and it's a very powerful mantra to not only for the person who recites it, for all those who listen to it as well.
A question from Shankari Kali, Washington.
Yes.
Swamiji, if we wanted to have a short Tantric Puja, how could we incorporate the offerings with the rest of the pages of Puja?
No, Shankari Kali, please, if you want to offer this section of the book, please start at the beginning and work your way to the back. Don't try to take the advanced practices and put them right after the preface. There are no shortcuts. Either you want to do it all, or it's just becoming an excuse for enjoyment.
The question from Sana. Can tulsi be used instead of marijuana?
Yes.
Or prasad?
Yes, we talked about greens, we talked about spinach, we talked about any kind of greens. Tulsi would be fine.
Swamiji, a question from Kumari. Kali is associated with many goddesses. Durga, Bhadrakali, Bhavani, Sati, Rudrani, Parvati, etc. Why does Kali have these associations? Do they represent different aspects or power of Mother Kali?
Kumari, Mom, remember also in her 1,000 names was the name of Saraswati. Also in her 1,000 names was the name of Lakshmi. So Kali is associated with many, many, many names of gods and goddesses. She, in this worship, is the embodiment of the supreme female divinity. So she embodies all goddesses. She encompasses all goddesses. They are all attributes or expressions of her.
Question from Usha from Canada.
Namaste, Ushama.
Pranam Swamiji, is this a combination of puja and yagya? Also, what happens to the goat symbolizing all the animal tendencies? Is it put in the fire?
Ushama, thank you very much. We will take half of the gourd and we'll put it in the fire and we'll burn our egos. We'll take the other half and we'll put it into the stew and we'll serve it as prasad, so that everybody gets the prasad of the ego.
Another question from Usha. Swamiji, the Shiva Babas sure drink a lot of alcohol and smoke lots of ganja. There must be real danger in these practices?
There is danger in these practices. If we do like Shankari Kali suggested and only say the introduction and then go straight to the back of the book, we're liable to forget that this is about worship. And there's a tendency, just as I've seen many temples where the sadhus are sitting around and they are drinking more than they should, more than is suggested by the scripture. So there are dangers in doing these on a regular basis. But as a special occasion, yes, this is a valid way of worship. If you have a tendency to engage in this kind of behavior, then perform the consecration just as it is in the scripture, and it becomes a holy act. Om Sam Saraswati Namaha. Namaste. Namaste. Are there other questions? Yes, sure. Let's go ahead and finish.
Swamiji, one question is from Usha.
Yes, Ushama.
Are they still doing animal sacrifice at Dakshineshwar?
No, they do not. But at Kali Ghat, they do every 3 minutes. And at Chakai, in Almora district, they do every 2.5 minutes. I mean, they can't cut them fast. So it is performed.
Swamiji, a question from Wendy.
Yes, Wendy, Ma.
Who is Ananda Bhairava? Is this the same deity as Bhairav who cuts down all negativity and fills us with positive energy?
Yes, and this is Ananda Bhairav. So this is the Bhairav that fills us with Ananda by taking away all of our fears, all of our negativities.
Another question from Wendy is music is a very powerful force. Does playing musical instruments, singing, chanting, etc. help us to develop and strengthen the subtle songs deep within? How can we use music as part of our sadhana?
You look at Srima, she is the classic example. Kirtan is the root of her sadhana. She is a classic singer. And we used to sit up all night on the rooftops outside of Calcutta, and there would just be hundreds of people sitting on neighboring roofs just to listen to Srima sing. Music, she says, is the highest sadhana. You go quickly to God. You lose your inhibitions, you go quickly into union with God. Om Sam Saraswati Namaha. Namaste. Well, in our next session, we'll talk about the system of making spiritual children. That is also a spiritual sadhana. Not only engendering them, but engendering them with the sankalpa. Like it's planned. We call it in India planned parenthood. Family planning, we call it. Oh, namaste. Thank you all for joining. I know there's some controversial aspects of this section of the book. I appreciate that all the questions were rather benign. Namaste.